posted a video. It has been like a week or so. Anyway, just not getting out of church. Is that a freaking ant? What the heck? Hey. But no, I want to talk to you guys today, man. I've been reading a lot of financial books, trying to be a little bit more educated on financial literacy, understanding. I already know how to make money, but I'm trying to figure out how to keep it and how to make my money work for me. Because a lot of people, they get out here and they like to spit out a lot of mumbo jumbo, and come to find out a lot of people don't know what the heck they're talking about. One, because if you look at their results in life, not trying to downplay anybody or whatever, but I mean, we gotta call a spade a spade. Why in the world would I listen to somebody that doesn't necessarily have the results? So, just based on the books that I've been reading and listening to those people, looking at people that are online, whether it be through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or whatever, it's important that any information that you take in, that you take it with a grain of salt, right? Go do your own research first and foremost. And it's important to look at lifestyles and stuff of people. Whether somebody is on a decline or if they're on their way up. Definitely taking that information, again, with a grain of salt. And so, through reading these different books, one of the books, of course, I mean, everyone and their mom heard of it, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Everybody seemed like they done got a hold of that book now and then read it from front to back, back to front, and they can probably quote that thing word for word. Another book that I was put on was The Alchemist. I think that it's a decent book, and I think that it has a lot of decent teachings and stuff in it. I think that you can learn a lot from it, a lot of lessons. But one of the key books, I would probably even put this above Rich Dad, Poor Dad, is The Richest Man in Babylon. I don't know if I would say put it over, but it's kind of like neck and neck. Will give you a better understanding for things. Because we hear a lot of things being spit out about, I want to work smart, not hard. Fam, if you look at anybody that has been able to get to a point where they're generating some type of wealth, or, anybody that is, let's just say, living comfortable, do you believe that they got there by working smart? Now, no, they had to work their freaking butts off. Like, they had to grind. Hey, what's going on, my people? What's up? Hey, man. What's up, my friend? Another person says hi. I don't want to jack anybody's names up. Do you have a dream? Yes, I do have a dream. I have. Let me stop. I dream a lot. I dream a lot. Now, I wouldn't necessarily call them dreams. I would call those active goals that I'm pursuing. And if you're speaking, or if you're asking a question like that, then absolutely every day we're going after these small goals to achieve like a bigger goal, right? And another one of the reasons why we start this YouTube channel, GQ Real Estate, is because I wanted to tie it into, finances, understanding, financial, getting a better understanding for financial literacy. Because, listen, I will be honest with you. When it comes to finances, when it comes to money, when it comes to my money, making money for me, I would come out and say that I am completely illiterate when it comes to really knowing and understanding. Now, not to say that I haven't read a few books, I haven't been in conversations and having conversations with, people that have made it to that point. But I am really, really big on results. When it comes to making money, that's easy. That's low-hanging fruit. I can do that all day, every day. But when it comes to my money, making money, then I would tell you I'm at the bottom of the mother-loving barrel, right? Even with these YouTube channels, still look at these YouTube channels as like they're checks that we get, every week. But, what I really say that's my money, making money for me, no, I wouldn't. I would not. I would not say that is. Like I want to be able to put. I want to be able to put something out there in the world that has taken me some time, right? Taking me some time to come up with, to really be able to generate what they call a real asset, not purchasing a home or whatever and calling that an asset. I don't think that's an asset. Cars, not an asset. Clothes, shoes. I don't believe that those things are assets or whatever. But I had, all right, if it was messing up, hopefully it's a little bit better now. Hopefully it's done corrected itself or whatever. But again, I just need to get my thoughts out, man. So y'all forgive me if I don't acknowledge the comments for a while. One thing that I heard from your boy Eric Thomas, E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher, if you guys don't know who he is, go check him out. Awesome guy. He said, and this is coming from a motivational speaker, when gurus are talking, shut up. That's what he said. That came out of his mouth. Do I think that is rude? Maybe not, because I honestly believe that what he is saying is 1,000% true. I think it is facts, right? When a guru is speaking, shut up. Stop running your mouth. Stop talking so much. What you're supposed to be doing is listening. You need to be listening to absorb that information and figure out, how can I apply this to my life right freaking now? I don't want to wait on it. I want to go ahead, take this information. I want to absorb it or whatever and figure out, how can I apply this to my life? And with that, questions just start coming up, right? If I apply this to my life right now, and I'm trying to build a business, then the question would be, who do I need to go to get this, that, and the third in order for me to get this set up? So how did you overcome this or whatever, this hurdle? How did you get people to start buying or whatever? Like, understanding the market and all that, like just absorbing that information and listening. And then when you open your mouth, it shouldn't be about what the heck you done been through and your experience. No, ask them direct questions on how to win, how to succeed. If what I have been doing has not been working for me, then what you shouldn't be doing is asking questions or telling them about your failures, how you failed and all. They don't want to hear that. Like those gurus and stuff like that, they're trying to, most of the time, when they're speaking or they're talking to you, they're trying to help you level up like they are, right? They're trying to give you advice on how you can succeed. Focusing on what the problem was, I want to spend more time on focusing on the solution, right? And so I did this, that, and the third or whatever. And most of the time when you're speaking to a guru or somebody that has the results, if you listen to them long enough, they will explain to you, and they'll probably tell you, I did hit this roadblock, on my way up, and this is how, you can avoid those problems, so it won't take you as long to get there. Most people just talk too much. You talk too much. Just hush and listen, absorb and apply. But you speak and you talk to most people these days, you can't tell them nothing. They don't want to listen. They know everything. And that's just not me. If I'm in a room with somebody that knows more than me about something, I'm quiet. I'm listening. That's what these big old ears are for. I'm listening. Oh, okay. All right. Interesting. Okay. So, say for instance, if I was to do that, right? What would be your recommendation for somebody that's trying to take this route or whatever, right? Or what would you recommend? Maybe I done hit steps 1, 2, and 3. Can you tell me some things that you experienced during whatever it is? Like, again, that's the reason why most people are failing, man. They want to talk when they should be listening. Everybody want to run their doggone mouth, and a lot of people just be talking just to hear themselves talk. Mouth just open 24/7. Like, fam, just be quiet sometimes, man. And sometimes, when you're in a room with a teacher or a guru or whatever, you have other individuals that are sitting there talk like, just let them get off what they're saying, or whatever before you start to do whatever it is that you're doing. And I think that if more people spent less time talking and more time listening, then you would have people would be a lot more wealthy than what they are right now. They wouldn't be going through half of the struggles that they're going through right now. So I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks, right? Like I told you guys, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, read that book a few times. The Alchemist, The Richest Man in Babylon, again, by far one of the best reads when it comes to financial literacy, and it's so freaking easy. And I'm just gonna go ahead and just throw out some quick things, all right? From Richest Man in Babylon. Knowing and understanding that you're going to have to work. I don't understand why people, or where people get this from, where it's not going to require you work your freaking butt off to get to where you want to be in life. Nothing in this world is going to be handed to you. Get that out of your doggone head right now. Most people are not going to hit the lottery. You're not going to have some type of fortune that's just passed down to you. And to most of them that do get that fortune that's passed down, they lose it in a week, or they lose it in a few years, because they don't know and they don't understand financial literacy. That's why I don't think that you should just be handing or giving anything to anybody. Everything in this world should be and need to be worked for, especially when it comes to money, right? And so that was one of the things that I took out of it. Okay, cool. We got that down pack. I've been working my doggone butt off since I can remember. Working hard is not an issue. Making money is not an issue, right? There are a lot of things that you can do or whatever, and not necessarily saying that, listen, you know, the work that you do is going to accumulate an insane amount of money. You know, start from the ground, fam. You know, if you're only making, let's just say, a small amount, you take that and let's just say you save it first, right? You save a portion of it and you don't touch it. This is what I got from that book. Like they say, pay yourself first. How many times have we heard that? How many times have we heard I don't know how many times y'all done heard. I've heard pay yourself first. Of course, give God his 10%. And then you yourself should be saving 10% of whatever it is that you make. If it's $1, take out 10 cents. Take out 20 cents, all right? 10 cents goes to God, 10 cents goes for yourself into savings. We're gonna save that. And we'll use that a little bit later on. So I don't really spend money that often, right? I'm one of those people that you would call like a minimalist, very, very frugal or whatever. And it's not even by force. It's just the way that I grew up. You know, I grew up in a single parent household and we didn't have much. So we had to make do with what we did have, right? And so I was always thankful and grateful for the little things. Toys and all as much as I can remember, I don't think I was really into toys and things like that. Now don't get me wrong. I enjoyed, you know, any gift or toy that my mother got for us. Absolutely enjoyed it. Maybe a little bit more on the console thing or whatever. I love my Dreamcast. What else do we have? We had a Dreamcast. We had a PlayStation 1, PlayStation, PS2. Never had a PS3 ever. Never owned a PS3 at all. Just completely skipped that. But yeah, things like that, man. Listen, those that's what we enjoy. That's what I enjoy. I wasn't really into, you know, the toys, the action figures, and whatnot. And as far as clothes go, you know, shout out to my mom, my uncle. They looked out for us big time. But it was never really to the point where everything that I wore had to be freaking name brand. I'm good with a Mufasa, not a Mufasa, but a Lion King t-shirt and, you know, some plain blue jeans, you know what I'm saying, some white socks, and, you know, I would prefer, you know what I'm saying, some Nikes. You know, if I can get the Nikes, cool. Everything else, the rest of the outfit, I don't care. I was never really into being Nike down, having on all Jordan. What else do people wear? Levi's, and just me. I'm just gonna speak for myself. I'm not gonna speak for my brothers and my sisters. I was never really big into those things. As long as my shoes was like Nikes or Converse, because I would do the Chuck Taylors too. Now, don't get me wrong, Chuck Taylors. I had Sperry's. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've even had some Toms at one point. That was just a little, everybody wearing Toms at the time. They seemed like they were comfortable. But anyway, but yeah, I would do the Sperry's most of the time, man. But yeah, I was never really into having, the latest name brand, fitted caps, wear, glasses, designer, anything like that. I didn't care about that. As long as I had something clean to wear to school, I'm cool. And so again, I've never really been one of those type of people that's been into like heavy fashion like that. Like focus. When I say heavy fashion, I mean like focusing on name brands. I feel like that's a little bit shallow. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those people that I believe I can put on anything and make it look good. I don't give a dang on if it's Levi's, Sperry's, a t-shirt from Walmart. There we go. I apologize, y'all. Phone the new really, really soon. Don't worry. So anyway, like I was saying before this phone cut off on me. Yeah, I've never been one of those guys on those type of material things. Now, when I got a little bit older, I sort of kind of had like an obsession with, I guess you can say, expensive things, right? I worked my butt off to afford a certain type of phone before I went off to college. I worked my butt off to be able to afford a very, very expensive iPad, the very first iPad that came out. I also had the stand to go along with it. That was almost like my little pride and joy. I used to take that thing everywhere with me, every freaking where. I want to say, I think I even still have that iPad somewhere. I want to say, I think I still got it. It's got to be somewhere. I have to check. But I mean, if you look at some things that I have or whatever, man, I guess some people would say that I have sort of kind of expensive taste when it comes to certain things. Again, this t-shirt, not name brand. Now, I ain't gonna speak about the rest of my outfit, because I think that these pants are like, but listen, I don't have like 1,000 pair of pants. I got like maybe four pair of pants. So I got the Abercrombie and Finch. I think these might be. They might be. But yeah, I got like four of those jeans. I got a couple of pair of expensive shoes, mainly because they're running shoes. So I actually ran in these shoes. I ran my first 5K in these shoes. They're like $300-400 pair of shoes. But again, they were for the run, so they were somewhat of an investment, and I made some content out of it. So, Anyway, outside of these few things or whatever, the majority of the things that I do have is non-name brand. Not really all that expensive or whatever. And again, going back into me being a little bit more on the, I don't want to call it cheap. I don't want to call it cheap. On the minimalist. I'm looking around my car right now and I'm like, yo, how much technology do I got in here as far as like stabilizers and stuff like that? But you can literally fit everything that I have outside of my bed and chairs and stuff and couches or whatnot. You can fit everything that I own in the inside of a car. And of course, not the tables and stuff like that. But you get my point. Y'all get my point, man. Like shoes, clothes, electronics, and things like that. I don't necessarily really have too much of those things. But going back to what I was saying, earning money has never been hard for me. Making money has never been hard. The issue and the problem was trying to be able to make sure that my workers or my money is making money for me was a major reason why, you know, I started getting into reading these different books. Shout out to one of my mentors. And I'm just gonna go through one more time. You got Rich Dad Poor Dad, The Alchemist, The Richest Man in Babylon. Also had me read David Goggins, You Can't Hurt Me, and I think that was a phenomenal read. Like, just to hear the different things that guy went through in his life, it really humbled me. I was just like, yo, bro, I have not been, you know, in nowhere near any of those things. I've not experienced those type of things. But to be able to come out on the other side and still have a positive mindset of trying to do and be better, and be open and vulnerable enough to admit that I still have those struggles to this day, to go out there and push myself to be great. Man, that thing was like poetry to my ears, because it was, I don't ever want to get to the point where I become numb to that process of wanting to grow and be better. You know, having to push myself, like, hey, you know, even somebody that's been doing it their entire lives, it still don't come easy to them. You still got to wake up with that doggone fire and that hunger and wanting to do and be better, right? Anyway, A Random Walk Down Wall Street, which I have not read just yet. What was another one? Now, I'm going to be adding this to the list, but The Baby Steps to Being a Millionaire or something like that. It's by Dave Ramsey. I'm going to also check out that book, but I've been seeing some stuff lately that has kind of been making me feel some type of way. Like, you know, I don't know how true it is, but I don't know if Dave Ramsey is giving, you know, sound advice when it comes to certain things that he teaches and preaches about, like mutual funds. Because I've seen a few different videos about like the S&P, but we'll get into that later today. Let's stay here. So, reading those books, you know, putting myself in those people's shoes in my life and trying to figure out, how can these books work for me? How can I use this information on trying to make my life better? Again, I think one of the hardest parts, easiest part for me, one of the hardest part for people to understand is, you're going to have to work. You're going to have to work your doggone butt off. I'm cool with that. Another thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to put 10% aside. 10% for God, well, 20% aside. And then 10% for yourself, right? And then you should be able to live off of 70%. So you can do whatever it is you want to do with that other 10%, whether you want to, you know, go out, eat, or whatever. Now that 70%, that's going to be tied into, you know, your living expenses. You know, I don't know. Hopefully you don't have a car payment. If you do car payment, insurance, rent, mortgage, you know, anything else, light bills, gas, internet, water, whatever your bills are, you need to be able to live off of 70% of your income. And then at least 10% you need to be saving it towards, you know, this thing that we'll do a little bit later. But once you have done that, I would say for at least a year. Now, in David Ramsey's book, one of those things, the very first step is you want to save at least $1,000. That's for him. And again, I'm not knocking it, because again, David Ramsey will be somebody that you would consider a guru, because if you look at his results, all right, never fail. Look at somebody's results, and obviously something is working for him, or something is working for them. So with that 10%, after you have gotten comfortable with paying yourself first, knowing and understand the importance of paying yourself first, no matter what, that's before your bill collectors, that's before everybody else. Because in most cases, you got 30 days to pay, you know, your bills. You need to pay yourself first. You got 30 days to come up with the rest of that money. I'm not waiting. All right, I need my money right now. The hard labor, I done, you know, sweat whatever, blood, tears, whatever you do to earn money or whatever. I don't work my butt off for this 10%, so I'm getting that off the muscle. After that, you know, and of course after God, then we'll make something happen. You know what I'm saying? We'll make something happen. We're gonna make sure we get the rest of the money for them bills. We got 29 other days to cover them bills. But on this day, I'm gonna get paid. So I believe after that 1 year, you've gotten comfortable with paying yourself first, that 10%. The very next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna take that, and this is not financial advice or whatever, this is me just sharing my authentic thoughts. I want to make sure I put that disclaimer out here. I'm not telling anybody they should do this. I literally make videos, especially going live, I do these videos for myself so I can go back and rewatch them and just remember everything that was on my brain. Like, I have to go live because I got to put this information out there. I can't write it, but I do a lot better with speaking and talking, you know, especially while I'm driving. So that's why I'm doing this video. So it's like 100% for myself, and if anybody else is watching, then you can feel free to listen. Not saying you should take into this information and do anything with it, but yeah. So this is for me. After 12 months of consistently paying myself first, again, and I've always been really great at saving money, but I wouldn't necessarily say that I was paying myself first. I was saving money after the money that I've spent. I want to get comfortable with paying myself first for those first 12 months, right? 12 months non-stop, consistently paying myself and not touching that money. Not touching any money that I paid myself. None of that money gets spent. None of it, right? We're going to use that after those 12 months to invest. And so this is the next step that I'm trying to figure out, you know, which way to pivot or whatever. Because I'm not going to put all of that money into, you know, a mutual fund. If I decide to go that way, the S&P or whatever, it'll be split. You know, I might do a few different mutual funds. I might, you know, whatever, S&P. I got to figure out a lot of stuff when it comes to that. Again, I'm one of those people that I can be completely transparent and tell you guys I know nothing. As of today, I know absolutely nothing about these things in depth. Like, really knowing the ins and outs and really understanding what it means, all right, to invest into, you know, these different things or whatever. As of today, no knowledge. And using a portion of that money and dedicate that to generating another asset. So say for instance, right, that could be a business idea that I'm putting, like, I don't know, it can be a course that I want to come up with as far as fitness goes. I'm really familiar with fitness, all right? I'm really familiar with managing money to a certain extent or whatever. But I would probably stay in the fitness, somewhere along in the fitness. Somewhere along the lines in fitness and somewhere along the lines in image. Try to figure out what would be the best asset as far as fitness goes and as far as image goes. And I believe that's pretty much tied into, but I still think that you can create different entities, you know, in that or whatever. So spending a portion of those savings towards creating the best product to give to a market with that. So yeah, that's where we currently are, man. That's where we currently are with everything. And I'm honestly looking for more people that are interested in going along, you know, this journey with me. And listen, I don't really want to be in everybody's business, but I want to make sure that I'm going to be able to hold people accountable. And the only way to do that is, listen, I'm going to send screenshots, and it's going to be a separate account. You know, I want to be able to send screenshots. Yo, this is where I'm at currently, and I want to be able to see the deposits, and the like all of that stuff. So we know, or so that I know, me personally, or the people that's in that group, so I know that people aren't reneging. You know what I mean? They're not going back on their word. They're not dipping into that account, but they're actually taking this thing serious. We're gonna save. The very first goal, again, small goals, big goals, might be $100. Then we'll take it from $100 to $500, $500 to $1,000, $1,000 to those first 12 months, and see how much we accumulate. You know what I'm saying, within that, and just go crazy with it. You know, just go crazy with it, and don't put any more into that savings account than you can. So if you know and you understand that you're gonna stress out over putting $50 in that account when you know you were only required to put, I don't know, 25, and you just trying to go above and beyond. Listen, don't do that. Just do what you can, and we'll get to that point where you'll be able to, you know, start to invest a little bit more. You know, you can be a little bit more aggressive a little bit later on, which I would honestly recommend. I don't recommend, and again, this is me talking to myself, but I wouldn't recommend, like, when I'm getting into something, I never want to be like super aggressive in the beginning. When it comes, and I apply the same, how I look at fitness, that's how I look at everything. Those people that start off in the gym, we're gonna do 12 hours for the first day, we're gonna run 8 miles or whatever. Come day 2, you don't even see them people. Day 2, day 3, they still trying to recover because they was hot when they first took off. You know, again, I'm really thinking about myself right now, how I am or whatever, or how I used to be, the approach that I used to take, or the approach that I see so many people taking, the mistakes that I see them making like early on, like trying to start hot. No, man, we're gonna gradually ease into this thing. So, you know, if it's only required that I save that 10%, let's go ahead and do that. Matter of fact, I would say, you know, I don't know, if I were a person that had debt, say for instance you had Jill over here or whatnot, you know, you were wondering what to do with the other 10%, instead of taking your butt and going to go get something to eat, going to eat out, you probably need to be paying down those debts or whatever that is. I don't care what it is, whether it's a mortgage or whatever, you can put a little bit more to that. But yeah, man, I really just want to come on here and get out my thoughts, and now I believe that I have. I've finally been able to take that deep breath after trying to figure it out, man. Finally. Now I'm about to head, because I got to put up a Ring camera, because you got them doggone pirate, what are those people called? Pirate thieves, man. You know, your boy is now sponsored by Amazon, so, you know, packages are arriving every single mother-loving day. Every day, getting all types of things, and you got people that, you know, out here stealing freaking 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, bro, that's crazy, bro. Like, what are we doing here? Like, dang, boy. I want to say some stuff, but I'm gonna leave it out. I'm gonna be cool. Just great. Like, why are you stealing people? You know what I'm saying? Stealing people's packages, bro. That's crazy. At least you get them the opportunity to enjoy it first. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, let me enjoy it. Who's to say 6 months on down the line or whatever, because it takes 6 months, that, you know, you can't just ask for it and then I can gift it to you. And you ain't got to worry about walking around a doggone apartment complex holding something. Like, and then what tripped me out is they not even going to be able to use the stuff. There is nobody around there that even drives the same type of car. So y'all, bruh, bring it back. I'll tell you what. Oh, man, I'm cutting up now. I'm cutting up. But yeah, man, I think, you know, finances pretty much ties into this channel, whether people want to realize it or not. You know, when you start to think about real estate, when you start to think about buying homes, Like all of those things, honestly, money is going to factor into those things, right? You need money. You got to have some type of doggone money in order to pay for these things. And you see people out there, you know, that have gotten loans and stuff like that or whatever, and say that, you know, you don't have, man, listen, I haven't seen it done. Even those people that make those videos, I be sitting there looking like, no, you said you had about $1,000 to get started. You know what I mean? But according to the video, you don't need it. All right. Okay. You know, you're not just, most people aren't just gifted with great credit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. It be stuff like that kind of get up under my skin, man. Like, y'all are literally out here false advertising, lying to people, lying to folks, misleading, misguiding people or whatever. When you know good and doggone well that, you know, that's not true. Clickbait. Let me bend this corner real quick, my friends. Excuse moi. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get back to it, man. I got a lot of videos that's gonna be coming out a little bit later on my other channels. I'm gonna get back to posting on this channel. I just want to make sure that I'm able to grasp the knowledge that I'm kicking back to y'all, and I'm able to at least see it duplicated, you know what I'm saying, across a few people before I start to just spew out some information. I don't like to just put things out there, all right? Anyway, man, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate all the likes. I appreciate the comments, because I honestly wasn't expecting. I didn't think anybody was gonna be on today. I know everybody, you know, is either at church or relaxing today, but I appreciate everybody that, you know, chimed in or whatnot. And until the next time, y'all be blessed, y'all be beautiful, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.